What's up guys, Winter Kills here, and welcome back to the featured Archetype series. So today, as you can probably already tell, we're going to be covering the Blue Eyes Archetype. Got this build here we're going to be going over, and then we're going to be talking about basically my thoughts on the deck, discussing the Archetype, and just its overall impact that it'll have on the meta, and what else it's doing right now in the current meta as an OCG and TCG. As for at least all of the featured archetype videos we've done in the past. More so for the last one, for Infernoids, because we cut out the dual portion of the video just so we could spend more time just actually going over the archetype as a whole, because that's the kind of direction I want this series to go in, and I'm actually kind of liking it. It's nice just to sit down and look at certain archetypes and get to know them better, and just to understand their inner workings and things like that. And I'm actually really enjoying doing these series. It's a lot of fun to be able to cover a lot of decks that I don't normally cover, but this one in particular is nice because you know, it's Blue Eyes. You know, a lot of people really love that card. My brother actually built this deck himself with all the new support, and hopefully we'll be able to get a deck profile of that sometime soon and some dual videos of that up. And once we get some of the OCG support and some of the Felground support and of some of the new OCG Blue Eyes cards, the deck is going to be doing very well. And we can already see it doing very, very well in the OCG, and we'll get to that a little bit later when we talk about some of the OCG card imports down there at the very bottom in the side deck. But yeah, so the build, we've got our standard 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. You need to play this card. It helps the deck run. Basically the heart of the deck. You need the normal monster Blue Eyes White Dragon right here. Can't forget about him. And then next we've got your Sage with Eyes of Blue, level 1 light tuner. Basically when he's normal summon, he searches a level 1 light tuner except himself, hence why we're playing 3 Effect Veiler. So it's not a bad first turn if you just end up going this guy, or if you get him a just get him on the field through normal summoning, and then you search an Effect Veiler and you can just pass by setting any of these back row. It's not too bad of a turn, but he does have another effect. Basically you can discard this card, then target one effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck, and you can only use with this effect of Sage with Eyes of Blue once per turn. So basically you can summon any Blue Eyes monster from your deck, whether it be this guy or this guy. It can be anything, and if it was the OCG, you could go and summon Alternative Dragon if you wanted to. The nice thing about this card is always treated as a Blue Eyes card no matter what. So this card does help set up a lot of plays, and the fact that it's a level 1 tuner that can search a level 1 tuner like Effect Veiler makes it that much better. And it helps to make the level 9 synchros, which are, you know, so the main synchros of the deck, not so much level 8s, which, you know, a lot of people focus on right now, is going for the level 8 synchros. This deck is unique in the fact that it kind of goes for those 9 synchros more often than the 8s, which seem to be the commonplace for most meta synchros anyways. Then we got next the White Stone of Ancient. Kind of similar to the other White Stone that we have, but this one is a little bit different. It's still a Dragon Tuner effect monster once per turn during the end phase. This card was in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn. You can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, and then you can banish it. Basically add a Blue Eyes card, Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard, and add it to your hand. Similar to all the other stone cards, at least Red Stone or the Black Stone Legend has that kind of recycling utility in the fact that it can special summon out a Blue Eyes card, which can trigger the effect of Dragon Spirit to basically banish a spell or trap when it is normal or special summoned. Very, very good card. Very good card. Again, just a level 1 tuner, light, so it is searchable off Sage of Eyes of Blue. But you know, the one thing that really just makes this card insane for me is the fact that it can search Effect Veiler. Like how many cards are out there that can search Effect Veiler? One of the better hand traps currently in the game right now. Now we have 3 Dragon Spirit of White. Level 8, 2500 attack, 2000 defense. Always treat as a Blue Eyes card, and it is treated as a normal monster while in hand or graveyard. So that does help set up some combos there. The fact that it counts as a normal monster. When this card is a normal special summon, you can target one spell trap card your opponent controls, banish it. So basically, if you can combo it off of this, if you like per se, I don't know, 1 for 1, this card, you discard the White Stone, summon out a Maiden, summon out this guy, you can get that effect, or through Silver's Cry. Basically, there's a lot of ways to get this thing special summoned out, and Silver's Cry makes it a lot easier because if you can Foolish Burial the Dragon Spirit of White, you can Silver's Cry it out, trigger that effect, because it is treated as a normal monster in hand or grave, so it does help out a lot. And then during either player's turn, if your opponent controls monsters, you contribute this card, especially when Blue Eyes White Dragon, from your hand. That's a very, very good card as well. You can get this 3000 beat stick on the field, which you can use to synchro summon the this guy right here, Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, being probably the best synchro on the deck, as we can see them out. See that by where as you can see it being the best, because we are playing 3 copies of it. Next, we're playing 2 Maiden with Eyes Blue. This is one of the older cards. This isn't necessarily a new card. Basically, when it's targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do special one, Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard, so you can summon a Blue Eyes from pretty much anywhere, and then you can get that on the board. And if they can't attack with anything else, you've set yourself up with a level 9 synchro, and you've just given yourself a level or a 3000 attack monster. And it also does the same thing when it is targeted. You can special summon a Blue Eyes as well, but it does not negate the targeting effect, but you still get to summon out the Blue Eyes anyways. And the thing about that, it's nice that it doesn't negate it, because there are some cards that we are playing here, like this card here, that it will trigger that effect just so you can combo off and get yourself a little advantage too by playing this card. It's actually really unique in the sense, basically, of what it does, and we'll get to that in a moment. But it's really nice that we can trigger this own effect by our own doing and able to get out a Blue Eyes monster. So it's very, very awesome. Then 3 effect valor, obviously searchable card, level 1 light tuner. Not only good for the hand traps, but if we need to, or if in a pinch we need a level 1 light tuner, we can get this out in the field for synchro summoning as well. 3 trade-in, no brainer. We need that for draw power. We got Silver's Cry, tribute or target 1 dragon, normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Quick play, Moon Mirror Shield. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, the equipped monster's attack and defense become original, or it basically copies the attack of whatever it's attacking, attack and defense stats, but then it gets 100 extra. And then if this face card is sent to the graveyard, you pay 500 life points to pay the card on either the top or the bottom of your deck. So if you don't want to keep drawing into it, you can place it to the bottom, or if you just want to see it again next turn, you can just pay that 5 to put it back to the top of your deck. But the thing is, all equipped spell cards target, so this would activate, and you could not, it won't get negated necessarily, because it does not negate the effect that targets it, so you can get out free Blue Eyes and synchro right then and there if you wanted to. And not only does it give you that ability to be able to toot out a Blue Eyes for free necessarily, but it gives you a out to pretty much any monster when it comes to attack and defense points, because you're going to be able to get over that monster always by that 100 attack points. So it's a very, very useful card. And I actually found this card out when I was looking up profiles, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this build. New to it, obviously, but it was from the ARG St. Louis. Somebody top 32'd with this deck, and he was playing this exact card at 2 copies, and I figured, why the hell not? It's a damn good idea. So, you know, why not? You know, not try to go my own way and look for something that's not going to be as good when it's clearly just a really good tech card. And shout out to that guy, and props to that guy for doing as good as he did with that deck, and then coming up with a tech card like this. 2 Dragon Shrine, really, really good card. You can send your Blue Eyes and your White Stone basically to trigger off a whole lot of effects. Cards constants, again, more draw power. Twin Twisters can set up graveyard plays, and just clearing back row is nice. Upstart, Foolish, Soul Charge 1 for 1, all really good staples at 1. Solemn Strike for negations, and of course Call the Haunteds, because it is really nice to be able to revive some of these cards. And because without having to rely on Soul Charge, you do want a way to get some of these things back out of the grave, because Dragon Shrine and Foolish are a thing that we are playing, as well as Twin Twister, so it does help to be able to continue combos like that. In the extra deck, 3 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Basically, it wrecks Pendulum. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. It hinders your Soul Charge, I guess, but it really never really comes up as an issue. basically, and then it negates graveyard effects, and then you contribute the synchro summon monster to special Moonlight Dragon type synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, but destroy it during the end phase. That is just really busted, really busted. So you can summon out Azure Eyes, basically, and the combo off of that is basically when this card is special summoned, Dragon type monster currently controlled will not be targeted or destroyed by card effects until the end of the next turn. So if you summon out Azure Eyes, it's not going to die by Blue Eyes Spirit's effect, and it will stay on the field because it cannot be destroyed. And then once per turn during your standby phase, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. So you can either summon the Dragon Spirit of White to get that effect off, to banish a spell or trap, or you can summon your just classic Blue Eyes if you wanted to, if you need more damage. You could also summon Michael Arc Lightsworn. You could also summon Stardust Spark Dragon and use his effect on himself, or you can summon Black Moonlight Rose Dragon. There's a whole nice little set of cards here we can summon out instead of Azure Eyes that just make it that much better of a card to get on the field, and then use that tribute effect. It's just a really good card, and it honestly makes the deck, this synchro card right here, the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. It's just such a good card. It can negate graveyard effects, stops players from specialing 2 more monsters at a time, so basically stops pendulums from doing anything, from doing their shenanigans, and then it can get you out any of these cards, which are all really good cards. I mean, Michael Lightsworn, he banishes a card for paying 1,000 life points. We all know what Stardust Spark does. And then Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. This is a card that a lot of people don't really know about. Basically, if this card is special summoned, a level 5 or higher monster special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you can target one special summon monster they control and return it to the hand. So as soon as this thing comes out through Spirit Dragon, you can just bounce something on their side of the field. Same with Michael, you could just banish something as well. And then we're playing one Crystal Wing because we can special summon out these 2 level 7s, no problem, thanks to Spirit Dragon. And then with a normal, or with a level 1 tuner, we can synchro up into the Crystal Wing for that level 8 synchro. And then another thing that I found out that people were playing with this deck is the Dark Matter engine, which is so cool to see because I used to play Photons a whole hell of a lot, and I still enjoy the deck, and I think it's really cool to see this small engine in here with number 62, Prime Photon Dragon, Galaxy-sized Full Armor, and our Dark Matter, of course, can send up to 3 different dragons from deck to grave to make your opponent banish 3 monsters from their deck. Galaxy-sized Full Armor, basically you detach to pop something. That's a good effect as well. You basically overlay that over top of number 62, which isn't going to be used too much for its own effect. It can be. It just boosts itself up by a whole lot of attack. I think it gains 200 attack for each rank on the field, so including itself. So if you use that effect right away, it's going to be up to 5,600, which is a pretty strong force to go up against. That 5,600 attack can beat over a lot of stuff. And then of course Dark Matter, number 46 Dragulon. This is another tech card I saw people were playing as well. 2 level 8 dragon type monsters, 1 turn. If you control no other monsters, you can attach 1 HP to this card, activate one of the following effects. Special 1 dragon type monster from your hand, helpful. So basically any of these things qualify. You can trigger the Spirit effect, or you can just get the Blue Eyes out as well. And then where's that card right here? Dragon type monster cannot, your opponent control cannot activate until the next turn. Target 1 dragon type monster your opponent controls, take control of that target. So it can act as a big eye in the mirror match, and it just wrecks in the mirror match as well, or just against any dragon deck in particular. You can really abuse this card for what it has to offer. That 1 Felgrand, gotta play it if we're playing level 8s. And then 1 number 38 Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy for all of its great effects. So yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of the profile, kind of an in-depth look at the profile. Like I said, my brother does have this deck in real life, and I can't wait to see the deck play against it, get some videos of that recorded, and that'll probably be after I get back from vacation, which is, you guys are watching this, I'm probably in Ohio, away from home, not being able to record things, but that's why I'm stacking these videos now for you guys, so you have stuff to watch while I'm gone. So let's look at some of the OCG cards that are going to support this deck a whole hell of a lot, that we don't have right now, and that are just going to make the deck infinitely times better. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon being one of those. We have Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. We have Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Some of the new Felgrand stuff that's coming out July 8th in the Structure deck. Gospel Revival, Arc Brave Dragon, Pot of Cupidity, a lot of decks are abusing this card in the OCG. Just because you can banish 10 cards on the top of your deck, face down, which means you're not getting those cards back by any means necessary. And then you can draw 2 cards, and you can make actually 1 Pot of Cupidity per turn. Really, really good card. If you can search out all the stuff you need and to get established board or whatever, you don't really need to worry too much about banishing a lot of your cards, because if you look at the deck how it's laid out right now, as you could probably tell, a lot of the main cards are played at 3, so you can afford to maybe get rid of 1 or 2 and deck thin a little bit by banishing them and still get the free draw power that you need to make the deck more and more consistent. Not only Blue Eyes is playing this card, but DDD and stuff over there. Pretty much DDD and Blue Eyes are ruling the meta in the OCG. But Alternative Dragon being one of the more anticipated cards for this archetype to get in the next upcoming sets. Basically, cannot be normal summon set, must first be special summoned from your hand by revealing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can only special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon once per turn this way. This card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it is on the field. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy that, and this card cannot attack this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. So basically, you can get this thing out on the field just as easily as revealing a Blue Eyes in your hand. And that's a free 3,000 monster on your field that you can use to do pretty much anything. Synchro, attack, and then it has that nice effect where you can destroy a monster. It's just a really, really good card, and I think it's just going to make the deck infinitely better. And I can't wait for it to come out in here and see what it has to do for the deck and how it'll help it out. We'll talk about Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos Form, which is another ritual card, but you won't be using that. You'll be using Advanced Ritual Art instead, which they recently just brought to 3. Probably just for this card, honestly, I don't know. Or the new Cyber Angels, not really sure. Must be ritual summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways, cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effect. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict double piercing damage to your opponent. And it's at 4,000. That's a problem for most decks. If you don't have big defense, you could be taking upwards of 6,000 damage through 1 attack. And you're not getting rid of this card by any means necessary if it's going to be through destruction. Because it cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. It can be destroyed by battle. But good luck getting over that 4,000 with anything that doesn't have a supplemented attack boost. Like Dark Destroyer can't do anything to this card, which I think is funny. Basically, you advance Ritual Art. You already play your normal monster in the deck. Like, how easy can it get to get this card out? You play 3 Advanced Ritual Art. Like, obviously, the build is going to change vastly once all these cards come out. Because this is, I wanted to post a TCG build in case anybody wanted to play a TCG build. I figured I'd get a TCG build for you guys instead of OCG and just kind of show you the OCG cards. But the deck is going to be nuts when this card comes out. It's just going to give the deck a huge advantage against any deck. Like I said, Cosmo is going to have a very, very hard time getting over this card. They don't even play Dark Planet right now. So, like, how do they get over this card? I don't know. I guess you could argue with Honest. They could start playing Honest again, but that's really funny that they need to just start maining that card again just to get over this thing. And it can't even be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. And it does inflict that double piercing. It's just going to be a great card for the deck, and I cannot wait for it to come out. And it looks awesome. Just look at that artwork on that thing. It looks so good. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. You need 3 Blue Eyes, and at the end of the damage step, this card is fusion summoned. If this fusion summoned card attacked, and this is the only face-up card you control, you can summon Blue Eyes Fusion Monster from your action deck to the graveyard. This card can attack again in a row. You can only use this effect of Blue Eyes Neo Dragon Ultimate Dragon once per turn, up to twice per turn. Interesting. So you can get it to attack 3 times, it looked like, at 4,500. During the player's turn, when a card effect is activated that targets a Blue Eyes monster you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it is kind of like a breakthrough skill in a sense, where it does have graveyard utility that you just need to banish it from the graveyard for, just to stop one of your Blue Eyes from being targeted by a card effect. And then basically is going to negate and destroy whatever card is activating that targeting effect And it is just a beast in the sense that it can attack 3 times at 4500 so long as you send any Blue Eyes fusion. You could send the original Blue Eyes Ultimate or that other, the Pulse, Twin Pulse Blue Eyes, I think, that we're not playing in this deck. I didn't pull it out, but I guess we could look that up real quick so I can show you guys what it is. This card right here, Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. This could be one of those cards that you could send, or you could send, of course, the classic Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Yeah, and then we've got, obviously, the Falgran support. Basically, this card has a normal special summon. You can equip one level 7 or 8 Dragon type monster from your hand or deck to this card while equipped with an equipped card. This card is unaffected by monsters' effects. And then you can attribute this card and one monster, then target one level 7 or 8 Dragon type monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So that card is going to be nuts already. Felgran the Great Divine Dragon. I just kind of want to pull this out just kind of show you that it is another monster that you can incorporate in the deck. Level 8 light Dragon type monster. Very, very good card. Gospel of Revival. And this is going to be one of the cards probably played at 3 in the deck just because how good it is. Or maybe not 3, maybe 2, just depending on how needed it is going to be. But it definitely helps out nonetheless. Target one level 7 or 8 Dragon type monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. If a Dragon type monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's kind of like a Void Seer and a monster reborn for pretty much all of these cards, as well as alternative Dragon or Archbrave Dragon. Basically, if this card is special summon in the graveyard, you can banish as many face-up spell or trap cards your opponent controls as possible. And if you do, this card gains 200 attack and defense for each card banished by this effect. Like that alone right there, comboing this and this off is just nuts. I think it's absolutely busted combo to be able to have a heavy storm that banishes like in your graveyard. If you all you need to do is just foolish this card and then activate this, and then you can pretty much wipe their board of any spell or traps for good. And it has the other effect that once per turn during the standby phase of this card is in your graveyard, because of center this turn you can target one level 7 or 8 Dragon type monster in your graveyard except Archgrave Dragon and special summon it. So basically, if you can foolish it, not only can you have the opportunity to bring it back with a Gospel or Revival, but you get to reborn another level 7 or 8 Dragon type monster from your grave as well. And another thing to mention while we're talking about this Felgran support that is going to be able to help out Galaxies as well, because as we know, another level 8 light Dragon type monster that's not Blue Eyes is Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and that has got me hyped for the Felgran support, because I'm definitely going to be playing that deck again with the new Felgran stuff, because it'll make the deck leaps and bounds better with some of these cards. And then we already talked about Pot of Cupidity being one of the driving forces to make this deck that much better, just to be able to go for that OTK with Cupidity, getting that serious draw power that you need to make the deck more potent, on top of the draw power that we already have with Cards of Consonance, 3 Trade-in, and the 1 Upstart. Not to mention Pot of Avidity that we might have soon if this deck can somehow utilize Banishing. Then maybe we will see this card utilizing it as well. But yeah, I do think this deck is going to be very, very good over here in the TCG. Sometimes decks don't always translate from OCG to TCG, strictly because of certain decks aren't available there that we have here, such as Cosmo and Kaiju, some of the TCG exclusive decks that the OCG does not have. Of course, this deck, if you go on the YGO organization, you'll see this deck just absolutely dominating pretty much anything, as well as DDD, which is interesting because right over here we don't see those decks topping except for the one, like I said earlier, the top 32 at ARG St. Louis, by, I can't remember what the guy's name is. I think his name was Evan Cook, and he top 32'd with a Blue Eyes deck, similar to this build. So yeah, it did end up topping here in the TCG. Topping 32 at an ARG event is not a bad accolade for this deck. Does it mean that it will start topping more and more and more once the new support comes out? It's hard to tell, although I definitely think it's going to be a very, very good deck. If it can keep up with Cosmo, if Cosmo doesn't get hit, if it can keep up with Ixie's Monarchs, if that doesn't get hit, which of course those decks I think will end up getting hit. How severely, of course, nobody can really judge that. I do think the decks will get hit just because they're both as we know, running the format. And I think it'll be a competitive deck, definitely a really strong competitive deck. So if you want to pick up the deck now, I strongly advise doing so before any of the card prices spike too high over your interest. Just because I do think with cards like Max Dragon, Alternative Dragon, Gospel Revival, Archbrave Dragon, Pot of Cupidity, all these cards to look forward to that are going to make the deck very, very competitive, very, very viable, I should say. And as more and more of these cards become available to here in the TCG, like Max Dragon and Alternative, Gospel of Revival, Archbrave Dragon, and Pot of Cupidity, the deck is just going to get, you know, more and more better as time goes on. So I do think it's going to be a great deck. It's going to be fun to play. It's going to be fun to watch play. It's going to be cool to see Blue Eyes back on top again with all these other cards that it's got to work with. And the extra deck just going to be absolutely phenomenal with, you know, Spirit Dragon, the Dark Matter Engine, being able to bring out, you know, very, very good light synchros like we talked about earlier, Stardust Spark, you know, Michael Arc, Lightsworn, and Moonlight Rose Dragon. I think it'll be very, very potent. And hopefully I can get a profile of my brother's deck up to you guys soon as well. So if you guys did enjoy this featured archetype video, please leave a like for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. And let me know what you guys think about this deck and how well you think it'll do. And leave suggestions for the next featured archetype. What kind of deck do you, or what kind of archetype do you want to see on here next for us to dive into and discuss and basically analyze that archetype. So leave that in the comment section below. And those guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, as always, when to kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.